Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's up, everybody? Um, my name is Brandon, and I got a little story to tell. It's funny watching all this bullshit that goes on between all these, you know, people in the truth movement and people who call out people and people who just think they know something more than what they think they know. Well, let me do some dispelling of some information and let me explain my circumnavigation of the world, being on the first U.S. Coast Guard cutter ship, Sherman, to ever circumnavigate the world. And I know some of you don't want to hear it. You don't want, oh, this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, this, and that, and the other. Well, I don't know, man. Buckle up and let's watch. So, what I'd like to do is give you a little brief history of myself. I joined the Coast Guard in 1999 as an E2. I was enlisted out of Oxnard, California. And um, I got accepted to boot camp, and I went into boot camp in was October of 1999. U.S. Coast Guard boot camp in Cape May, New Jersey. Did my time in boot camp and loved every second of it. It was great. And then five weeks in, they were like, "Hey, Mr. Casey, you're going to the Persian Gulf." And I'm like, wait, what? Like, and they said, "You're going to the Persian Gulf in 2001." And I'm like, well, it's 1991. They have us slated this far out. So I'm like, what the fuck? Tripping. So I'm going to the Middle East, the next 2 years. I already know this while I'm going, and I'm in boot camp. So because once I had gotten my orders to my unit or my station, they were essentially like, yeah, you're going to the Persian Gulf. And so arriving to my unit in late, I think it was late December of '99. We did a TISTA with the Navy out in Hawaii for like 3 months, just to kind of see ship preparedness, whatnot. Came back. We did a couple tours in Alaska doing fishing patrols. And this is all during the year of like 2000, gearing up for our January trip around the world. And so we had done 2 trips to Alaska, 3 months apiece. We did. So when I first arrived, we did 3 months in Hawaii for TISTA, which is like an acronym for Team fucking something. Anyone in the Navy knows what it means. Right now, I can't currently fucking remember. Anyways, so we go there for TISTA. It was great. My first experience on a ship overseas. I'm in Hawaii for 3 months. It's fucking great. Come back to port, and they're like, hey, in a month, you guys are going to Alaska. So we go to Alaska for like a month, did some rad shit up there in the freezing cold. And then we came back. We came back down for dry dock. We had to dry dock our boat, basically just scrub all the barnacles, get all the old shit off. Any wells that are fucked up. They were basically just doing a full overhaul of the ship, making sure that it's prepared to do this 6 month around the world. Well, at the time we didn't know it was going to be around the world, but a 6 month journey, because there had already been 2 ships in the Coast Guard that had been over in the Middle East prior, and we were going to be the third. But they had done the Pacific Rim Patrol, went to the Middle East, came back, went down like South Asia, then up through Australia, and then across back up, and then back to the Bay Area. So leading up to it, it was mid to it was late in the year of 2020, or I'm sorry, 2000. It was late 2000, and we were basically doing our last mission training with the Navy down here in San Diego, down here in Coronado. We trained with the SEALs. I was able to train with the SEALs a couple nights. It was fucking amazing. Did some really rad night op shit. Never forget it. It was really cool. And being an E3 in the Coast Guard and training with the Navy SEALs was fucking amazing. It was so rad, beyond what I could ever even imagine in my only being in for a year or so. So it was really fucking awesome. And I was chosen to be part of the boarding teams that we were going to be going over there when we go to the Middle East, enforcing UN sanctions on Iraq, because this was prior to 9/11. Even though it's 2001 when we went, this is prior to 9/11. So, we're just going over there to enforce UN sanctions. And so here we are towards the end. It's like November, December. We're basically doing our last bit of training to go to the Middle East. And so, and we did basically like a 3-month or 2-month TISTA down here in San Diego. And basically it was our final like hurrah. So we get back to the Bay Area, we say our final goodbyes to our families, and we set sail. It was like January 4th, 2001. It was like the day. So our first port call was headed to Hawaii from the San Francisco Bay Area. I was stationed in Alameda, California. There was Coast Guard Island there. There was 4 378-foot long Coast Guard cutters there, amongst with tons of the Pacific Fleet was basically there. So we leave out of, and so I guess I'll just go along the port calls as we progress. But anyways, we leave out of San Francisco. It takes us about 6 days to get to Hawaii. We go from Hawaii to Guam, and then from Guam we went to the Marianas Trench. We swam there. We did actually like a swim call on the Marianas Trench. There were guys that got stung by jellyfish, and we were diving in, and a lot of people got stung by jellyfish. But it's the deepest part of the ocean in the world. We were swimming in like 6.5 miles deep of water. And it was crystal blue. You could see hundreds of feet down. It was just so beautiful, but eerie at the same time. But nonetheless, so go there. We shoot down to Singapore. Singapore was our next port of call after Guam, and then we spent like 2 days there. From Singapore, we went to Thailand. We spent 5 days in Thailand, in Phuket, Thailand. Probably the most amazing, raddest experiences any young sailor, any young guy could ever have. You could have nothing in your pocket and live like a king there. It's like it's like a paradise for a poor man. There's so much to do there. There's so much amazing like things, so much to do, to see. It's all there. So great place. Left Thailand, went up and went right into the Straits of Hormuz, and that was basically our first encounter of like, I don't know, some shit going down. We had an Iranian, as we were going through the Straits, we had an Iranian ship essentially come along, like follow us in the Iranian waters, and this was a torpedo boat. This was a small, maybe 110-foot long, 150-foot long boat. They had torpedoes. They had every means. If they wanted to hit us and sink us, they could have done it, man. Popped us like a cherry. And we went to general quarters, and we loaded up, and we were like getting ready to fight. And we're continuing to transit, and nothing happens. So that was like my first experience. Longer story short, our whole 3 months that we were in theater in the Persian Gulf, all we did was just search container ships. Everything that was going in and out of Iraq was being searched by us. We were the lead command in theater because our captain was an 06. And as an 06, you basically have privy over everyone in theater. So everyone in theater was under Coast Guard command. And this was all Navy, the Navy, Marines, everybody. Because all Navy guys, all the Navy ships had 05s or below commanding their ships. So our ship had a 06. And so we were basically, the Coast Guard commanded the entire Persian Gulf theater for that 3 months. And we did it all. We were up at 4 a.m, boarding container ships, searching every single fucking container, 1,500 containers, top to bottom, from the time we woke up to the time we went to sleep, man. It was brutal, brutal, brutal. And so um, after that, after our time in theater, after we were done there, we were done. We were done. Say, okay, we're going home. So after we left the Straits of Hormuz, we went straight south. We went to Mauritius. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Mauritius. It's kind of like these small little island chains off the coast of Madagascar. They're like in the middle of nowhere. They're fucking gorgeous. Like if just Google it, you'll blow your mind, dude. It's like it's some of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in the world. So we spent like 3 days in Mauritius. Then we go to Seychelles. We spent like 3 or 4 days in Seychelles. Like mind-blowingly beautiful. I mean, you can't even like words can't even describe how rad this place was. So then we leave Seychelles, we go up across and around northern Madagascar, and we stop in. I honestly I forget the name of the town. It was some northern Madagascar town. Sketchy. Like I mean, like save the world or save the children type shit. Like where you see Sally Struthers on the commercial and she's like, save the children. It was like that, man. It was really sad. And it was really, as a 20-year-old, as a young kid and, seeing this shit, I'm like, holy shit, man, this is pretty fucking sad. And we just did what we could to help. And so we ended up having a rad, like, soccer match against the Madagascar like Olympic team. So when we pull in, we grab we try to assemble as many guys as we could to like create this, little soccer team to go against their national team. So we get to this field, right? I mean, it is like dirt and rocks, and it just looked like someone's fucking backyard field. And this is like what they're playing on. And mind you, these dudes are like barefoot. They're barefoot. Man, needless to say, it was a shit show. They beat the piss out of us, but it was a really good, like, humanitarian, if you will, because like we gave them a lot of shit, and not that it makes up for anything, but it was a cool experience, and we kind of bonded with the people, and even though like seeing like what they've gone through, and Madagascar was really probably one of the places that was like the hardest to live in. Wow, man, these people really have it tough. It was really sad. So, anyways, from Madagascar, came around through the Cape of Good Hope. I forget. We were in between South Africa and Madagascar, and I forget the name of the strip of water or whatever. But as we went through this place, man, we hit 45-foot seas. And holy shit, like amazing. I'd never seen, I've been to Alaska. I've seen 30 plus, seas. But when we came around this spot, man, I'd never seen an ocean like this. And I was actually fucking scared. I think a lot of us were scared on board. We were in like 45, 50 footers. I mean, fucking big, dude. Big, where you didn't know if you were going to make it out of this shit. So to boot we got a call as we're transiting through this shit. We get a call, the coast, like, Mayday, Mayday, any fucking vessel in the area, please go to this coordinates. It's a 700-foot car carrier. And this 700-foot car carrier, apparently, because they were getting beat up by these waves. They were getting beat to shit. And so apparently one of the cars broke free from their chains, being locked inside this car carrier. One of the cars broke free, slid down into a wall, exploded, and the fucking they lit their halon system off. Halon is basically some sort of chemical reaction, whatever, which basically sucks all the oxygen out of a space so that it smothers a fire. So they lit off their halon system. While doing that, it disabled their entire their machinery. They were basically adrift. They had no propulsion, and so we're like maybe 100 miles out. We're like, okay, we're gonna be there in maybe like 8 hours. Can you guys hang? And they're like, yeah, we can hang, but I mean, in about 12 hours, we're going to run aground. And so we're like, fuck, let's go. So we get down, we haul ass down there. We get down there, finally get on scene. And there's just no way we cannot get a tow line over these guys. We can't do shit. There was just nothing we could do. We literally just stood by them all night. Literally like maybe a couple 100 feet to just standing by them in case we need to do some sort of emergency situation or whatever to fire a line over these guys to get these guys, because they were drifting into shore. These guys were fucked, man, because the current was running about a good 8 knots towards land. And so we're like, fuck, well, what do we do? I mean, and we kind of, after did all the calculations and math and everything, we figured like, okay, we can probably hold out till morning based upon how the seas started to die down a little bit. So come morning time the next day, we're still on scene with them. The seas had died down to maybe like, 10, 15 feet, big rollers, whatever. We were finally able to get a tow line over to these guys. And we hooked up a tow line. And we basically just, even though like the fucking current was running them into land at like 5 knots, we were able to make about 8 knots just to be about 3 knots faster than the currents to keep them from running aground. We did this for about fucking 10 hours. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. It was long. It was a long evolution. So finally, once the seas finally calmed down enough, a tugboat from the local town, he was like out of Johannesburg, because we had drifted that far south, almost near Cape Town. We were like near Johannesburg. And a couple tugs come out and they take over, and we're like, finally, because like we were just cruising through. There was nothing going on. We were just cruising through, trying to make our way home. But we're circumnavigating, so we're coming down around the Cape of Good Hope around South Africa, and we happen to run into a fucking boat in distress. And so what does the Coast Guard do? We fucking lend a hand, and that's what we did. And it was pretty rad, man. It was a great evolution. It was really rad. So our next port call was Cape Town, and it was literally like 2 days out. So we get the boat safe. The tugboats come out. They handle it all. We come down. We pull into port in Cape Town, and oh my god, dude, it was a fucking party, dude. Like, we were greeted at the pier by like hundreds of people, dude. Like, from what the Great White, yeah, Hollywood, yeah. I was gonna do the little the Great White Shark dive, but I wasn't dive certified at the time, so I unfortunately I couldn't do it. But a couple of guys did. A couple of guys did go dive with the Great Whites. But I that was not my thing. Water was freezing fucking cold, and I'm not gonna get in the water with some great whites. That's just not my. I mean, I'll go surf, and there's great whites all around me, but at least I don't know where they're at. Being in a cage, chumming them in. I don't know, man. So we pulled in the Cape Town, bro. We pulled in. We were like fucking rock stars, dude. It was like we were like celebrities when we pulled in, because we were like. Like as soon as we pull in, the newspapers go to our ship, and we're on the front page, like Coast Guard ship on the front page, like Coast Guard saves 700-foot car carrier, blah. And I still have it somewhere. I don't think it's in here. I don't have it in here, but I have I still have the news article, which is crazy because they gave me the news article that it was what was a trip too is my aunt in Colorado, out of all fucking places, my aunt in Colorado somehow hears about this event. Like, I don't fucking know, dude. She happened to randomly email me at it, like, because we had like the fucked up email where you could get, they upload email once every week or two, whatever. She sends me an email like, dude, I just heard about you guys saving that boat in fucking South Africa. I'm like, what? I'm like, how the fuck do you hear about that in Colorado? I don't know. It was just fucking weird. Anyways, so we had 5 days. We had 5 days in South Africa, man. It was fucking amazing, dude. Like, the people it was rad. The people there were just like so like welcoming and open. And like they didn't even believe we were American because like I just talk how how I talk, just normal motherfucker, just straight up Californian, whatever, California bro. And so I start rapping to people and like, oh, what are you doing? You don't sit there and try to fake that American accent. I'm like, bitch, I'm from fucking California. Here's my fucking California ID. Like, oh my God. Oh, you're from California. Oh, what's it like? Oh, what's I'm like, yeah, you lost your chance, chick. Bye-bye. So anyways, South Africa was rad. Ever get a chance to go to Cape Town? Cape Town is fucking dope. Cape Town's cool. Thailand was fucking amazing too. So we had a good time in South Africa. So we were ready to transit on. We spent 5 days there. Amazing time. In fact, I got this tattoo when I was in South Africa. I got all that shit done when I was in South Africa. Except for this stuff, this middle stuff was older. But all the other travel shit I got done when I was in South Africa. And so we left South Africa, hungover as fuck. I think I was puking off the side of the boat when we left because it was just a fucking great time. So we transit up, we go, basically just kind of hug the coast of South Africa and just go up. And we went to the 000 degree latitude. Dude, the chicks in South Africa, oh my God, bro. They would just throw themselves at you, bro. If they knew you were like American, and mind you, this is 2001, so it was a different period, different time. So back then, chicks would just be like, "Oh, you're American? Oh, take me with you." And I'm like, you had to like literally fend them off with sticks, bro. It was like that. No bullshit. You can be an ugly. I'm not the best looking motherfucker, but I can tell you what, dude. Even the ugliest motherfuckers were pulling chicks. It was like that, dude. If you're from America at the time and you were out in foreign countries, dude, it was wild, bro. It was a great time. And you got to mind you, this is before smartphones. There were no smartphones at the time. No one had a smartphone. No one had any means to record you unless you were on like a handheld camcorder, and I have some footage from my around the world trip because I uploaded to YouTube my around the world shit, and it immediately got flagged and banned because I think because all of my songs that I kind of dubbed in there got copyrighted. But I think I'm gonna upload another full video of my around the world trip, and not, it's nothing fabulous because you got to realize at the time this was like what was it, like digital 8 like recorders, like garbage, bro. Like, so when I went to Thailand and I had bought my camera when I was here in the States, as soon as I got to like Singapore and Thailand, my camera just started melting because the humidity was so bad that if I was inside the ship and I brought it out, because the inside of the ship's all nice and dry and AC and this, that, and the other, then I bring it outside in the humid ass fucking hot fucking Southeastern Asian fucking weather, dude, bro, the tape would just melt and everything would fog up. And so anyways, longer story short, I ended up buying like 3 cameras in that stint from Asia to the fucking Middle East, and it all turned out shitty. It, like grainy, got fucked up. But I made a video. I kind of stitched together. When I got back, I stitched together a pretty good video. I'm gonna re-upload it. It might be on my old channel. I want to say it's still not banned, but it's there. It's there. It's about an hour and a half long video, just as some of the dumb shit we did back in 2001. I'm gonna try to re-upload it. I'm gonna take out the music, and hopefully that will keep it up. So where was I at? Okay, so we came around South Africa. We start going up towards Cape Verde, the Cape Verde Islands, which is Western Africa. So we stop at the 0 degree latitude and the 0 degree longitude. Literally, prime meridian and equator. We were zeroed out, bro. This is the only place in the world you can become an emerald shellback. And I became an emerald shellback at this moment. Usually there's an initiation process, just like with any other like rite of passage. This was a rite of passage. So they made us jump in the fucking water with like shark infested fucking black tip reef sharks and all types of nasty shit. We swam for about 5 minutes and we got the fuck out and we're like, all right, emerald shellback, we're out of here. So we proceeded our way up to the Cape Verde Islands, which is like a bunch of like old volcanic. Yeah, we were zeroed the fuck out, bro. Like zeros. If you go on a GPS, it was literally zeros across the board, and it's the only spot in the world that will be zeroed out. Wild. I don't know. I mean, at the time, I had no idea. And on this little journey that I'm explaining right now, this is just the story of my circumnavigation and what we did and kind of what I've experienced. I haven't even gotten even close to how I figured out the world was flat, or come to find out of well, what I know now, not knowing then. So, anyways, get to the Cape Verde Islands. We were there for like 5 days. Another, like 3 or 4 days. Totally, not a fucking single bush on this island. It was fucking volcanic wasteland. We get there. We talked to the locals like, bro, take us to the best surf spot. He drives us out to like the middle of fucking. I thought he was gonna drive us out and just fucking him and his homeboy was gonna murder us and shit. Cause like he drove us out so far, like there were no roads, there was nothing, bro. There was nothing. Out in the middle of nowhere on the furthest south part of the island. And we finally get to some waves, and it was like 3-footers. And we're like, we spent 30 minutes, 40 minutes driving out here in the middle of fucking nowhere, thinking that we're probably going to get jacked and killed out here for no waves. So there was no waves. But it was cool. The guy actually turned out being really cool. We ended up giving him our cards, and he gave us his. And so he basically was our shuttle for the next like 3 or 4 days. He actually kept bringing us back out to this spot. And we just hung out and fucking surfed and drank beers and kind of a weird place. Cape Verde Islands are really, but really mellow spot. So after that, we left there. We shoot across the Atlantic Ocean. We our first stop was where the fuck was it? It was Barbados. We hit Barbados first because Barbados was the furthest one out, coming from east to west across the Atlantic. So we hit Barbados for fucking like 3 or 4 days, bro. Hands down, if you ever get a chance to go to Barbados, fucking go. Blow your fucking mind wide open. I mean, Seychelles, Thailand was cool, but for it being so close, Barbados was a rad spot, man. Barbados, it was cheap. Everyone's rad. The surf was great. The food was phenomenal. And all the tourists and like they're all from England and whatnot, and just a rad time. Barbados was really great. And in fact, if anywhere, being so many places around the world, I would say Barbados would probably be my top two. Seychelles probably be number one. Anyways. Spent time there. Holy shit. What a party time. We had such a great time. I mean, we partied from sun up till sundown, from sundown till sun up every day, bro. Every day. It was just a fucking debauchery. It was just, when you're 20 years old, your body can hang. My body couldn't hang with that shit no more, dude. I'd be fucking in bed by 9. So a lot of the older guys, they couldn't hang, but man, some of the stories and the shit we did and the shit we saw was just wild as fuck. So after leaving Barbados, we go to Aruba. Oh, another bad place to go. Aruba definitely was not as beautiful as Barbados. Barbados was very tropical, very green, very lush. Aruba was more like Mexico, very kind of deserty, still a little bit of jungly, but how far does the South American money go there? Well, we just use American currency the whole time that we're. I'm sorry. Yeah, how far does American currency go? Dude? It all depends. I mean, we the exchange rates were different then, but no matter where we went, other than the Middle East, we never paid more than what it was worth. So, like, for instance, when this is 2000 or 2001. So when we were in Bahrain in 2001, and this is right when the PS3 had come out. The PS3 over there was going for $600, and it was going for $300 here in the States, roughly. So yeah, I mean, the exchange rate in the Middle East was horrible because they use dinars. They use dinars as their currency, and it was horrible. But everywhere else in the world, dude, I mean, you live like a king. You fucking live like a rock star, bro. Like I said, I was in E3 at the time. I wasn't getting paid a lot. I was broke as a motherfucker because I was just partying from port to port. And every time I hit the port, like, oh, cool, I got paid. So I had like 400, 500 bucks. That's all I needed for fucking 5 days in any one of these countries, man. And you could live like a rock star. You could fucking drink what you want, eat what you want, fuck who you want, and still walk away with money. Not that I paid for hookers, because fuck no. I look too good for that shit. So, we hit Aruba. Aruba was cool. We weren't there for Aruba for 2 days. Kind of deserty, kind of fucking whatever. I didn't really like Aruba. There was a ton of tourists, but I just didn't dig it. I will say, in Aruba, the clubs there were fucking wild. And I will say, I think half of our boat, like officers, most of the enlisted, I think about 80 to 90. We had a ship of about 160 people. Probably 80 or 90 of us fucking all ate ecstasy that night. The first night in Aruba, it was wild. It was a good time. It was fucking cool. It was a really rad time. So did our 2 days in Aruba. And then from Aruba, we went right to the Panama Canal. We went to the Panama Canal. We waited to go through the Panama Canal for like hours, like 12 hours. We had to wait in line. But military ships and whatnot usually get the presidents before cargo ships and whatnot. So, anyways, it took us about 7-8 hours to go through the Panama Canal to get to the other side. And then from there, man, it was just straight home. A lot of crazy shit happened between all of this. So we get through the Panama Canal. We go straight up, we're in the Pacific Ocean now. We go straight up. We're going to, San Diego. San Diego was our first port call. And there was a lot of shit that happened between there. And I never thought that we'd actually get there because I was hoping I'd fly out early. But no, that didn't happen. I ended up getting stuck, and I got other crazy stories about that. But yeah, so essentially that was our circumnavigation. And I didn't even get into any of the things that I had done. This story right here is just about my route, like where we left from, what we did, some of the crazy cool shit, in a nutshell, in about a 35-40 minute roundup. Trust me, the amount of shit that we did, I couldn't sum it up in several hours. There was a lot of rad cool shit we did. Being so young and being able to go around the world and pretty much have a card to fucking do whatever you want was pretty awesome back then. Nowadays, the world hates America, and you probably couldn't get away with it, but man, oh man, what a fucking great time. What a great time. And I will and I'm going to try to upload my my video that I stitched together from that trip. I got to pull it up from the fucking archives. I got it somewhere. I know, and I've also uploaded it. Oh, my connection is unstable. Anyways, I'm gonna re-upload that. I'm gonna take away the audio, or at least the if I can, let's see what I can do. But anyways, just a little glimpse on what I did. How the flat Earth comes into it, I'll explain later, because I was too ignorant and stupid, and I didn't know. I didn't know at the time. But what I was seeing, because I had spent hundreds of hours on lookout watch. Where you're looking through the binoculars and you're looking around and you're making sure that you report contacts so that they don't see them first. Yeah, that's what I did for hundreds of hours. And I saw shit that you cannot explain. I saw shit well beyond what a curvature model can explain. Seeing ships over 65 nautical miles away, not refraction, not looming, none of that shit. Because when I see it and I report it, fly bridge fly, roger that, got a contact bearing 020 at approximately 9 miles. And that's me just reporting it to the bridge off of what I think I see. Because what they tell us is, oh, the horizon is only 9 miles away. No, fact, in the military, I don't know if it's based upon the height that we were at, because our fly bridge is roughly about, 35, 40 feet above the water line. So they tell us, well, the horizon, or the military, or whoever fucking says it is, the horizon's at 9 miles. Well, when I call down to the conning bridge, and I say, hey, I got a contact bearing 020, approximately 9 miles, and then give them their range and whatever they're going, and then I wait for their response. Roger that, cool. And I think nothing of it, right? So I get off my watch, and I go back down there, and then I look at the fucking radar that's sitting right there. That fucking boat was 65 miles away, okay? That boat was over 65 nautical miles away. How the fuck did I see it? How in the fuck did I see it? Now, me, as a 20-year-old, I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever. It never clicked because I didn't even give a fuck about flat earth or anything. I'm just doing my job, fucking doing my shit, No fucks given. And then when I hear about this whole flat earth bullshit, things start to kind of click. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'd like to get into greater detail at another time. And there's a lot of crazy shit, man. Open ocean, what you can see, what you do, man. Fuck, dude, it's wild, man. It's wild, man. And the thing is like, so the whole reason why I just like came live and kind of did this is because I was just on Jaren's channel, and and all this drama that's going on between Jaren and Jake and the flat earth community and all this bullshit. It's like, what a joke, dude. Like, it's all a joke. Honestly, I would stand by. First of all, let me just say this. I stood by both sides of this bullshit story, like whatever's going on with these guys, I don't give a fuck. I don't know either of them. I know what I know based upon what I did. These guys just helped me figure out in my mind and realize, like, holy shit, something happened. So as I follow both these gentlemen, there's certain things that I like and there's certain things I don't like. You take it all in, you throw out what you don't like, you take in what you do like, and that's it. I mean, that's just how isn't that how the truth is supposed to be? You disseminate the shit from the good, and you kind of just like, you take what you can and we take what you can prove. And so anyways, watching these guys, I'm just like it just seems like I like Jake, man. I like Jake. Jake reminds me a lot of me because he's just an asshole. And I'm an asshole motherfucker too, man. You can ask anybody I know. But, I'm also a very kind-hearted person. I would never intentionally want to hurt anybody unless they hurt me intentionally. We're all human, like whatever's going on. It just seems like a bunch of bullshit. But the reality is, I honestly, I could stand by Jake's side more than I could Jaren. Only reason why is because Jake wears his shit on his sleeve, man. He fucking, maybe that's part of the gig. I don't know. But Jaren just seems to, I don't know, man. He doesn't seem genuine. He doesn't seem real to me. And I've followed this guy for fucking 5 years, and I've watched him. And he has a ton of great content. I'm not discounting his content. It's just hard to find the genuine part of him because I just don't see genuine in him. Because I can sit here and just talk shit and run my mouth and say what the fuck I want to say. And this is what I did. But, like, it's almost like he has a show to put on, like an act. Like, he has to maintain a certain level of professionalism rather than just being a real human being and just expressing what he feels. And I could see the realism in Jaronism sometimes, but it's few and far in between. And with I don't know. Anyways, I don't give a fuck about the drama. This is all nonsense, man. But it is dividing the community. Wherever the fuck that is, there is no community. The only community that there is, it's truth, man. Whether you choose to believe truth or not, that's on you. That's on fucking me. That's on you. It's on everybody. Who you get your truth from, where you seek it out, how you find it, man, that's on you. I don't want people to believe anything I fucking say. Like, because it's funny, whether it's family or friends or whatever it is, I can sit there and tell these people, like, everything that I've done and everything about my circumnavigation and tell them, like, based upon what I've done, I believe the world is actually fucking flat. Whether it's flat or it's definitely non-rotating. I don't know what it is. But what I do know is I spent enough time on the fucking water, approximately about 40,000 nautical miles sailed in my life. Okay, I've spent almost 40,000 nautical miles sailing in my 42 years of life. That's almost a fucking 1,000 miles for every year that I've been born. Fortunately, most of it was done when I circumnavigated, so that's that. Um, but yeah, um, that's that, man. And so, like, for people to discount that, and so when I went on Jaren's channel and I was nervous and I tried to explain, like, my experience, and I probably didn't do it the best I could do it. um you know I felt like I was dismissed or discounted or whatever, and it wasn't anything worth talking about again in his mind. That's how I felt from him. That's what I got from him. So here we are, fast forward like 4 years later, and I see what's going on. So I was just in his chat on my third account that hadn't been banned, only just to fucking say what I'm saying now. What's up, man? Why are you banning me? Why am I being banned for asking questions? You know, all I do is ask questions. And isn't this the most common, like, cliche statement? Truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. Yet here we are in the truth community. And whether it was him or one of his fucking mods, regardless, they're still stuck in the fucking matrix. If they're going to ban someone for asking a question, unfucking believable. Anyways, man, that's where I'm at. But I'm gonna get deeper. I'm gonna get deeper and deeper into this topic about my circumnavigation. And anyone who has a question, man, feel free to ask. I only know what I know based upon what I knew at the time as a 20-year-old young kid who had no idea about the flat Earth. But as my time progressed, I started to question things. Therefore, that's why I found Jaren and Glowbusters and Jake and all these guys at the same time. So now I see all this shit. It's kind of unraveling. Um, you kind of can see who's real and who's not. I know who's real. I know who's not. I'm real as fuck. I'm real as a motherfucker. You want to come fucking find me? I'm a real estate agent here in Fallbrook, California. Do some research. You'll find out who I am. You want to have a conversation? Let's talk, man. No fucks given here. No punches pulled. I'm a nice guy. I have no beef with anybody. So let's chat. Cheers, everybody. Have a great Friday evening. And I love you all. Cheers. Chicago.